I was fascinated by the myth of Dracula when I was a kid, the dark side of all human nature itself.
He comes to you in the night, the dark stranger.
He's mysterious and he's dangerous. He is unlike any man.
This very masculine force that's kind of exciting and wild.
It's like sex, I don't know, it's like orgasmic. It's a strange kind of tingle.
This thing with Dracula is something completely different. It's uncontrollable.
I hate Dracula. I hate horror movies.
There's something weird about having been bitten in the neck.
Plunging their teeth into your neck, you know, was really kind of gruesome.
It's supposed to be the biggest high going.
I remember as a kid, you know, loving horror films, and in particular Dracula.
Dracula, blood, biting, the dark, the unknown, obsession, domination.
He's very attractive in that dangerous way.
And there's something very erotic about that, very sexual.
He is the embodiment of evil. He's Lucifer. He's Mephistopheles. He is like the devil, isn't he? He's the devil.
In the summer of 1991, Francis Ford Coppola and his filmmakers set to work hoping to breathe new life into an old legend.
And it's unusual. I mean, we know what our biggest problem is. Our biggest problem is, why did they go to all this trouble to make that same story again? We've seen all this stuff. So what's our answer? Our answer is, you've never seen it acted with this kind of emotional intensity. And we have very fine actor Gary Oldman as Dracula, you know, a writer who's really lovely and like a Snow White almost for Nina. Then we have Keanu Reeves as Harker, you know, a kind of pipe-smoking, young, good-looking guy. And then, of course, Dr. Van Helsing with Anthony Hopkins, who's going to be as evil as Dracula. It's really just the ideas that's the hard part. My father had a slogan he always used to tell us, and it's a good slogan. He says, steal from the best. So, you know, I made this film with the guidance of cinema history. Nosferatu probably is the greatest film made on the Dracula story. It's a masterpiece, a powerful film, you know, that really probed the depth of the strange part of us that's obsessed with vampires.
The image I can't get away from is Bela Lugosi. I think he was really sort of onto something. It's in our genes, isn't it? It's like our heritage or something.
There have been 200 feature films made on Dracula. And I've been the president of the Count Dracula Society for 32 years. And I haven't seen every one of them. I haven't seen all 200.
Your bullets can't hurt me.
Seen Kung Fu until you've seen the seven brothers and their one sister in action against Dracula.
All of the Dracula films that I had ever seen were paled, literally, when you compared them to what Bram Stoker wrote in 1897. It wasn't there. Bram Stoker is this sort of stodgy, stiff purser and stage manager at the Lyceum Theater, and he writes this extraordinarily erotic, oral, wet, feverish novel that people avoided like the plague. Every time I would bring up Dracula, they would go, oh no, it's been done 100 times. I would say, read the book. Nobody reads the book in this town. Nobody.
Van Helsing broke the silence by asking Arthur.
Answer me, oh my friend. Am I to proceed in my work?
Arthur threw himself on his knees and hid his face in his hands as he answered.
Not for the wide world. Like
we were up in Napa where we started rehearsing at his home on this big sound stage. And he said, I want us to read the whole book together, loud. It took 2 days. And he said, because I want us to absorb, all of us, to absorb the book. It was a marathon to read that book.
Well, I told everyone after we read the book, I said, if anyone can see something from the book that's not in the script that you think it ought to be, please send to me and we'll put out a script that has it all in. So they all did. And of course, they all made their parts 3 times bigger. Let's stop the presses.
Stop. We don't have to change it. We don't have to print it out.
No, but we should. You know, when you have all these scenes, every time we pin it down, it's another nail out of my coffin.
Cam Coppola. What went on? I don't know. We were all invited up there, most of the cast, and we had rehearsals in the morning. There was a structure, and at night we had dinner. It was some of the best days of my life. I was, you know, with some of the greatest actor people I've ever met, so.
All people have memories together, and the cast just comes, they don't have any memories together. So I try to give them as many sensual memories, eating together, having fun together, playing together.
I don't like family atmosphere. It makes me very uneasy. I've got an aversion to families. I used to have to get out as soon as rehearsal was over, because I've never had a family. I've always been on the road, so I don't like being cooped up. But that was Francis's way of getting us together.
Francis gave everybody sort of little tasks, you know, to get to their character. He'd send them off to sort of like do sort of balloon bonding, and Keanu would go and ride horses, and I said, what do? I'm 400 years old and I'm dead. So I stole from the historical figure.
The true historical Dracula was a knight sworn to protect the cross of Christ and the church in the 15th century. A man who was a charismatic hero to his people. He later turned into a bloody monster.
I remember going to the Encyclopedia Britannica as a kid, which we had in our home, and looked up Dracula and went and saw Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and I was like just thrilled to think that it was really a guy. There really was a Dracula.
The thing is to use the
Dracula, before becoming a vampire, he serves the church, but his belief is completely shattered and is betrayed. And reverses that and says, well, then I curse God and is damned.
I feel that Dracula is about our blood tie to the creation. We are bound sacredly to God, and that's a two-sided affair, and man can renounce God if he wishes. Blood! Oh, God. Look, all of you, it's bleeding. The cross is bleeding. My God. How many of us renounce our blood tie to the creative spirit and become Draculas, become soulless? Cut! This is Origins of Dracula. This is like, remember in the comics, you'd have Origin of Superman, Origin of Batman. This is Origin of Dracula. Yeah. I want it to really last 400 years.